Wednesday, November 12th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by FanDuel. I almost said it was November 11th. That's a crazy mix-up. Anyways, I'm your host, Jason Cooper, alongside my producer for the next hour, Jacob Gramegna, behind the boards. And we have a great show for you today. Excited to talk through things and get things started. Mr. Peanutbettor, batting leadoff, as he always does on this fine Wednesday. We're going to be talking about the college football poll that was released. A little bit of reactions there. Who's undeserving, who's in there, who deserves to be there but isn't in there. Talk about how the ACC looks in that poll. Where is our SMU? Where is our SMU? Maybe a win over Louisville next week. They'll finally get some respect they deserve and get in that poll. If they win out, they should definitely be in that poll. Kind of the disaster that happens if Duke wins out the ACC. We might see 2 group of 5 teams make the auto bid for the 5 conference teams because we just assumed it was the Power 4 conferences that were going to make it through. But ACC is such a mess. There's a real shot that if Duke wins the ACC, they might not be one of the teams that make it through on an auto bid. So could see 2 group of 5 teams there. Then we got an NBA loaded show for today. Pips is going to come on, talk through some NBA props. 2-0 last Friday on our props. Props went 2-0. SGP lost. Kel Ware. If we bet on you to score some points, you can't be going like 2 for 13 from the field. Like you got to be shooting better than 20% there.
How are you 7 feet tall?
Yeah, like how do you miss that many layups? Like I guess we had rebounds, and that maybe the rebounds wouldn't have gotten there if he ended up scoring more. But anyways, we ended up missing the SGP. But you know what? That happens sometimes. We're betting it at like plus 230, plus 240. You're not going to hit that one every single week. And also, Con Knipple, if you break it up and bet into
Knipple. We went over this.
Con Knipple. 5-3 is made. He was lined at like 1.5. So
good player.
Good stuff from Pips. And then finally, to close out the show, Kirk Evans, famously, the guy who said he was a better than Bob Harala Bob. Don't know the Greek last name. Need George on here to pronounce it for me. Famously said he's better than him. So he's going to come on and talk some awards markets. So, we'll talk through that. Should be good to go for today. Hopefully, Mr. Peanutbettor is not sprinting to his car and trying to grab headphones.
He's been here since before we were live.
Okay, good.
He's all set today.
Good. Happy. He told me he had a super busy morning this morning, which I guess means just like looking at prediction markets and trying to figure out what dress Taylor Swift will wear at her next outing. Before we get into things, just a quick reminder. Yesterday, Edric Overtime. Had a lot of fun there. We went super long, 40 minutes. But every Tuesdays and Thursdays, we'll be going a little bit longer over here on the Hammer Daily. We're going to be talking some NHL games, breaking down the entire board. Straight hockey talk, 30 minutes. Edric Overtime, rotating guests, including So Money, Alex Moretto, maybe Matt Albert, maybe Rob if he ever loses another NFL bet, and a couple other special guests that we might get in the near future. Reminder, that is at Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going a little bit overtime. Edric Overtime. So, all right, let's get into things today. Really excited to talk about this. Mr. Peanutbettor is about to join the show, a.k.a. Mike. He's college football bettor, college football enjoyer, regular on Circle Back, who you will see him this Friday. Mike, my friend?
Uh-oh.
That's okay. It's all good. Mike?
We'll have you in a sec.
We'll grab you in a sec. To lead things off, though,
he's here.
First of all, I want to get chat's reaction to the college football the college football playoff poll that was released. But Mr. Peanutbettor, I texted you last night at 11 p.m. saying, "What the fuck is this poll?" I feel like there's a lot to talk about here. Let's just start with taking a step back. Who do you think are some teams that are undeserving on this playoff poll right now, and you see when the season's over probably won't be there by the end of the season? And who do you think that isn't on the list is going to be on that list by the end of the season? Talk us through this one here.
Sure. So for people that are teams that are undeserving, I'm going to be boring and say that the committee pretty much got it right. This is about the order that I would have them in. A couple teams I'd probably move around here and there, but I think they're valuing head-to-head in a couple situations and also valuing actually playing someone in your out-of-conference schedule, which is why you see certain teams above others. So I think that the committee got it mostly right in this one. Kind of what you're referring to with what teams are in there and what don't. I think the entire release show is confusing for people who don't follow the sport religiously. And the fact that Miami is showing up on the graphic as coming into the thing when they're the least likely to win the ACC. So they're the highest ranked currently because of their wins against quality opponents out of conference, but they're the least likely to win the ACC of all the teams that are ranked right now. So they show up as a playoff team when they're really, not projected to make it. But they show up on the graphic. I think it's pretty confusing to someone who's just looking at it and not following the nitty gritty.
Yeah, no, it definitely is confusing because also I don't think that the college football playoff committee releases that bracket. I think that's just aggregators kind of putting out what if today the playoffs were played today, and of course Miami being the highest seed, I think those aggregators are just assuming that Miami, or maybe it's the college football playoff, they're just assuming that Miami's going to win the conference, but we know that that's not the case. But right now they are the highest ranked team. I guess my question then is, let's say things kind of stand pat, and let's say that Duke were to go on and win the ACC, because the ACC is the crux here, right? A lot of things can happen because that final bid. It's funny because we're talking about USF as though they are pretty much already in, which they pretty much are. They're a ranked team. They're going to win their conference, so they're going to win one of those 5 bids. The last bid that's up for grabs is going to be between the ACC winner and a Group of 5 winner. So let's say that Duke wins, because this is what I've heard about. Duke wins out. Duke wins the ACC. Chances are they're not going to be in the ACC. They will not be in for an automatic bid with the ACC. So that means another Group of 5 team will be in there. Who do you think it'll be? Am I wrong here?
I think you're wrong here.
Okay.
There's a great piece online Tom Fornelli wrote. Basically how he explains, it's exciting to think about, but I don't think that the ACC is going to be left out of the automatic qualifiers. If Duke comes through and wins, they'll have a win versus Virginia, who's a top 25 opponent. Yep. They'll have a win against Duke, versus North Carolina, and versus Wake Forest. So those are, not great wins, but they're not terrible. And most importantly, in the ACC championship game, they're going to have a very quality opponent. There's a decent chance actually that it could be Louisville if they play them, and Louisville has already beaten James Madison. So I don't think that Duke, if they do win the ACC, is going to get left out. It's possible. The fact it's even a possibility is already funny enough, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
So you think no matter who wins this ACC finals or this ACC conference championship, that team will most likely be the one that makes it? Because I again, like we talked about, listen, I'm still trying to understand these college football playoffs. It was always my understanding that there were four of the 5 bids were kind of just set for these the Big Four conferences, but I guess that was never the case. It was just kind of assumed to be the case because how much more dominant these conferences are than the Group of 5. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. That's how it works, right? It's just the 5 highest ranked conference champions.
Yeah, it has always been the 5 highest ranked conference champions. Everyone just assumed that would be the 4 power Group of 5, or the Power 4 schools, and then it would be one Group of 5. Nobody kind of even ran the scenario where it would not be one of those schools. So the fact that the ACC has made this a conversation already is hilarious in itself, and the fact that they're so far behind the rest of the conferences when it comes to just quality of opponent.
Do you think that I'm seeing a little bit of tinfoil hattiness in the comment section here? Do you think that Miami is getting moved up in case? I know you said that there's a chance that you don't believe that an ACC team will miss the conference window, will probably get in, but do you think that Miami is getting moved up a little bit here in the rankings because if there is no ACC team that makes it, they might be able to squeak ACC in as the last seed of the 12th, the 11th seed here?
I don't think so. I am actually probably a little bit more tinfoil hat for the CFB committee than I am for any other scenario like this. They definitely will kind of do what they want to do as far as getting teams in there. And I think that, they are going to kind of back whatever metrics they're going to use to qualify the teams that they actually just want to put in. But with that said, if they were going to do that, I think they would just put the ACC team in, and it's a lot cleaner of a fit than trying to, pre-select Miami for it.
I know, but just kind of extending this theory a little bit further, in pre-selecting Miami, it's kind of been widely talked about on the show throughout the nation that a lot of people are just saying, listen, this Miami team by far is the best ACC team. They just don't have the conference wins to get in because our SMU, right? Me and you, we took SMU. You have those tickets, beat them, and then also I think Louisville beat them as well. So they don't have the wins to in the conference to make it to the conference championships. Anyways, but yeah, this Miami team is pretty good. We'll see what happens. Any other teams that you feel like are, let's take a step out of the ACC here for a second because we're talking a lot of ACC stuff. Any other teams you feel like are getting disrespected, or maybe not disrespected, but have a hard schedule down the stretch that are currently ranked in the top 12 that you could see slip out, and who could you see replacing them?
I think the most interesting conversation is around BYU and Utah. BYU has one loss. Utah has two. BYU is only one spot ahead of Utah right now. If BYU wins out, they will play in the Big 12 championship game, and they will probably lose to Texas Tech. If they lose to Texas Tech, does that loss, say they lose by 30, does that loss drop them below Utah? They're only one spot ahead right now, and they just lose by 30. That should theoretically knock them down. However, if you look at it as BYU has one loss, they have a head-to-head win over Utah. They're in the same conference. It seems absurd that you would put Utah ahead of them. So you could make the case, hey, how do you lose by 30 and you don't drop a single point? But I also would say there's nothing on their resumes that would allow Utah to surpass BYU yet. At the same time, I also think that Utah is pretty clearly the better team who just happened to lose that game. So I think it's interesting that we'll see if it's a resume, conversation, or if it's who's a better team, because I think those are very different questions or answers.
Okay. All right. I like that answer there. I'm a little, how much stock do you think these, the committee is going to put into these conference championship losses, right? Because it feels like a little unfair to BYU if this kind of maps out as is. They get smoked by Texas Tech, which we're kind of, whoever makes it is kind of going to get smoked by Texas Tech. And I wonder if that's going to harm, is it going to harm a team for making the conference championship versus not? Will the committee really punish a team for losing in the conference championship versus a team that's just not going to play in that given week? Are you worried about that at all when kind of looking ahead and maybe betting some of these college football playoff futures?
100%. I don't think that they will punish the team. I think, for the record, if that situation happens, I think they would keep BYU over Utah. And I think it would be kind of absurd if they put them below them. I don't think that you should be punished for playing a championship game. And to the committee's credit, last year, SMU was an 11 seed, I believe. They were just one spot ahead of Alabama. They lost in the ACC championship game and stayed ahead of Alabama, essentially did not get punished for that loss. But there's also a difference between losing on the last second versus losing, in a game where you look totally pathetic out on the field. I don't care how they look. If they lose in the championship game, I think that shouldn't be counted against them, more than it would more than, not playing in the championship game because you happen to lose more games early in the season.
Yeah, no, that's a great point there. I just wanted to clear that up because again, this, it's almost like they walk in, they have a magic crystal ball, and then they decide things, and then they walk out, hang their hat, and call it a day. So we really don't know what happens behind the scenes here for the committee. Let's dive into some of the games this week that I want to touch on. A couple marquee games, a couple important games for college football playoffs, for conferences. First one I want to start with is Iowa at USC. USC 6.5 point favorites right now. USC's kind of been known as a team that's struggled against defending the run, but when they played Michigan, when they played Nebraska, I think they've had a very stout and physical run defense. Even though they still gave up a decent amount on the ground, they're still able to be, I think, a little bit more physical than people give them credit for. They're known as the California kids out in Southern California. It's sunny, it's warm. They don't like to get a little dirty. But no, they look like they can play Big Ten football, we'll call it. What's your breakdown on this game? Iowa at USC. USC 6.5 point favorites right now.
What kind of homerism that this is the game we're leading off with here? We're talking about a USC team that's not going to make the playoff versus an Iowa team who's also not going to make the playoff. And the first thing we do is mention, USC, all their defensive struggles are made up, despite the fact that we can see them last rank in defense every year, around the conference. But yeah, we'll go into it. I think that it's going to be tough for Iowa to kind of keep pace with USC if USC is able to score at the rate they want. You can, if I was able to control the game and make it, more of a slugfest, they certainly have a chance. I am kind of skeptical. I actually do agree with you somewhat that USC's run defense specifically is a little bit better than people think. It's really the pass defense that they kind of struggle in more. But, Illinois ran over them pretty well. And the biggest problem with that game for USC was they weren't able to get on the field. Their offense was spending a lot of time on the sideline, and, it kind of threw them off rhythm. And when it's a few possession game, that's where Iowa revels. So I think that USC is, the deserved favorite. 6.5 seems about right to me. But obviously Iowa just almost pulled off the upset versus Oregon.
Yep.
And I think it's probably a better team than most people think, especially with this new quarterback. They kind of found their stride offensively to where they're obviously not world beaters on that end, but they're not anything to kind of laugh at.
Okay. All right. Iowa and USC. You like USC here. Not a surprise. Can't wait to talk next week after a USC win when they play Oregon. Then we can seriously talk about USC making the playoffs because then they have a real shot there when they upset Oregon. Let's move on to Oklahoma and Alabama here. John Mateer's we're waiting for him to hit his stride. Like, is he ever going to really do it? That's kind of the question we have here. Alabama's 5.5-point favorites at home. What do you like in this game?
I think it's going to be pretty interesting. Alabama's defense hasn't looked quite as unbeatable. Alabama in general, it kind of seems like one side of the ball does just enough for them each game. And they are, as soon as one side picks it up, the other side kind of drops off. I think that Mateer is a pretty exciting college quarterback. I think he's a good college quarterback. I'm not sure if he's great. I'm not sure if he can beat you consistently on standard downs. I don't think Oklahoma's offensive line is great, and they certainly can't run the ball. So it's going to be a performance from him. Like, you're going to need him to play a little bit above expectation to have a chance against Alabama. I think that Oklahoma's defense can have a decent shot stopping Alabama's offense, which has been, at times has looked unbeatable, but then at other times kind of has lacked the ability to run the ball as well. So neither of these teams can run the ball great. Both defenses are pretty stout along the front. So it should be a pretty close matchup between the two. I would expect the defenses to have more success than the offenses.
All right. Okay. You feel like that number's about right here, though, the 5.5 at home for Alabama?
Yeah, I think so. I would probably lean Alabama at that number, but it's not anything that I feel strongly about. That seems about right to me.
All right, let's close this one out here. Texas at Georgia. Georgia is laying 5.5. A little bit of a trench warfare we got going on here. Gunnar Stockton versus Arch Manning. What do you like in this game? Talk us a little bit about it. 48.5 total seems like a tad bit high, but maybe I'm just lower on both of these offenses than people are. Talk us through this here.
Ironically enough, I was going to say I kind of like the offenses for both these teams more than the defenses.
Good signal.
I think that Texas's offense has slowly gotten better throughout the year. They're still not great. They still can't block anyone. But the good news is Georgia's defensive front isn't, your past Georgia defensive fronts where you got situation with just dudes all over the place. So I think that they could have success there. Georgia has been quietly a better offense than you would think given their personnel this season. And I kind of like Stockton as a player. I like Arch Manning. I still think he's a decent player despite the rough start. So I think that both these guys are mobile quarterbacks. It could kind of get into more of a back and forth than people think. Both these teams, you think defense when you think them, but both kind of offenses have been playing better lately. Also a note for the game total is Sark mentioned recently that he thought that Texas needed to get back to playing tempo, and they've been playing too slow early in the season. So I would expect a higher pace for Texas, which obviously leads to more points.
All right, we're going Oppo on this one. We'll see who wins, and I'll mark that down in the sheet right here. Going Oppo on the Texas Georgia total here at 48.5.
Never felt better about a side than when I heard that you like the under.
We will see. We will see. It is shaded towards the under -118, so maybe we'll give you the flat 48 to make it a little bit more fair for you. Let's close this one out here. This is more of like a process-related question. Just how you kind of work through looking at futures now that we're down to the wire with only 3 weeks left in college football. When do you start looking at tiebreaker scenarios for conference finals and conference championships? Is there a time where you start, or do you – because I talked to Brad Powers about this on Monday. He's like, I don't really care about this stuff until like we're in the last week and we know what's going to happen. But Brad Powers bets every single game on the board. He goes through so much. I know you like to find little edges as much as you can. There's truly is opportunity to do that at some point. When do you start doing that? Is it now? Is it next week? Or is this just like too time consuming? You don't even want to you bury your head in the sand. Don't want to think about it.
No, I definitely think that there's a lot of value in here, especially one of the ways that you can find value is because these conferences are now larger than they've been. Before there was more less likelihood of a multi-way tie. So a lot of these books don't have anything to price these tiebreakers, or I shouldn't say don't have anything. They are not pricing them correctly right now, I don't think. So I think that if you're able to kind of look into the deeper multi-team ties, there's a lot of value there. It takes, to be honest, a decent amount of work trying to you have to either simulate it out through some kind of model, or you have to just do some kind of basic logic tiebreakers and understand, if this happens, then this happens, and kind of map it out yourself. So it does take a lot of work, but I think that those are actually some of the better price things that you can bet on.
Anything you like right now that you want to share with the people, the Hammer chat? No, nothing?
No, I'm still trying to earn back that Taylor Swift funds that I have to get back, so I can't share those out yet. So maybe one day here.
All right. I want you to have one prepared for next week. That's your job. That's your homework. Is that okay?
Yeah, I'll get you one.
All right. I appreciate that. All right, Mike. Appreciate you joining the show. We'll see you on Friday.
See ya.
Awesome stuff there from Mr. Peanutbettor, a.k.a. Mike, coming in. Told me he had a super busy morning, so hopefully he's doing okay. But he came in, absolutely crushed it. Yeah, awesome stuff there. Before we get into our next guest, before we bring on Pips to talk through some NBA, just want to remind you guys, number one, don't forget to smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. Number two, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. It's free, costs you nothing, goes a long way for us here on the channel. Number three, if you've done both, you're like, what the hell do I do? If I've already done both, tell a friend about us. Goes a long way. Tells YouTube that you like us and tells us that you like us as well. So yeah, share with your friends if they like sports, if they like betting on sports, and they don't know what to do for their lunch hour. Tell them to join us every week here on the Hammer Daily. Going to bring up Pips, but before we do, just quickly, just want to give a shout out to our sponsors over at FanDuel. FanDuel is making Week 11 even bigger with a chance to win a share of $2 million in bonus bets. That's right, this Thursday night. That's $2 million. Here's how it works. Opt in and place an anytime touchdown bet on the Jets versus the Patriots. Gross game, but you can use your profit boost. And if that player you pick scores either the first or last touchdown of the game, you'll earn a share of $2 million in bonus bets, $1 million for each touchdown. We're going to take a look at the touchdown board right now. We're going to throw out a dart, and I'm going to throw it on Drake May to score an anytime touchdown here at plus 170. Yeah, like that one. Just one more reason to bet on the NFL with FanDuel. So whether you've got a feeling about that opening drive or you're banking on a clutch finish, now's the time to get in the game. Just visit FanDuel.com/forward progress to download the app today and get started. FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas affiliation with Star Casino, 19 plus and physically located in Ontario, 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in must apply profit boost token or on select market. Prize pool to be split equally among all eligible participants who made the correct first or last TD pick. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 21 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE NY or text HOPE NY in New York. Call Connex Ontario at 1-866-531-2600. Visit connexontario.ca. All right. Up next, he's an NBA props originator, co-founder of Props Madness. You know him. You love him. Chat. Pips, how's it going today?
Hey, guys. Going well. Love big slates. So happy to be alive on this day.
Yeah, happy to be alive, but I know you're maybe a little overtired because I look back at the last couple NBA slates. I see 6, I see 7, I see 6, I see 9. It's loaded. You're not getting your single game slates where you can take a rest, take a day off, but it's okay. We're still grinding.
Still slept like a baby last night, in order to be fresh for this big one. So yeah, feeling good.
All right, I recapped it off the top, but I want to recap what we had last week, which was Victor Wembanyama under 26.5 points or 25.5 at -106. Both were winners, depending on what you got. We had 26.5 around -120, 25.5 -106. I think he had like 22-ish points there, so we smashed that, or you smashed that. And then Christian Brown under 13.5 points, another winner. Widely available number. We even had the -120, which wasn't even the best price in market. We took the -120 on FanDuel, but the SGP. Man, like what's wrong with Kel Ware shooting 23 from the field? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, he was missing some laps, but he was far off. So yeah, horrible game. 3 from 13. Kind of you'll expect a big guy to cover 15 points when he gets 13 shots up. Also good bench because he sucked. So kind of he'll get there one day. So
All right, just hopefully it's a day where we are betting on him, and hopefully not the days when we don't. All right, let's get into what we have today. Also, a reminder, chat, if you guys have any questions for the slate tonight, Pips is always free to answer whatever you have, so you can drop those questions in the chat to the side. Let's get into
one.
Yeah, go ahead.
One change on that bet. I'm just changing it to the Nickel Alexander Volker. Same game, same team, but the lines were off for Nickel, and now they dropped. So I'm going to the Nickel Alexander Volker over 16.5 points, -112. FanDuel kind of widely available at -112, -115, up to -120. Best price, FanDuel.
Love it.
Is what it is. Yeah. Sometimes we get the best price there. This kind of open when the was available, wasn't available. He is questionable, but he think he got enough rest, and now playing in this one. So yeah, I'll just open up Props Madness to show you guys something on this one. Hope it works and doesn't break.
We're good.
Yeah. So we have Props Madness on the screen. So Nickel Alexander Volker, as we've seen, averaging 17 points on a season, 17.6 over this line in 7 out of 9 games. But interesting part is early in the season, under against the Raptors game, he somehow managed to shot worse than Kelal Ware. He was 2 from 15 from the field in that game, so the volume was definitely there. Just first game with the new team, things didn't work out, so he didn't cover in that game. And the under against the Cleveland Cavaliers, right on the line, 1 point short, 0 from 4 from 3 for usually a great shooter. So kind of we like to see the volume was there again. Also now we can see that Trae Young is out. In the games without Trae Young, he had huge usage, 26% average. Minutes are great. They need his defense. And looking at the matchup, fucking Kings, like if you see the big slate and you want to bet any overs, you go to the Kings game and find opposing players, and probably you are good. Like if you are blindly like picking one, and I'm going with Nickel Alexander Volker here. Looking at the matchup, scores most of his points as a pick and roll ball handlers. Kings horrible there, ranked 29 out of 30 teams. Most points come from transition. Kings again horrible there. So 2 ways he scores the ball. They are horrible against both of these. Similar players by position, like all the guards had field day against the Kings. So we are hoping to see the same from Nickel Alexander Volker here.
All right, Nickel Alexander Walker over 16.5 points at -112. No Trae Young against the bad Sacramento Kings team. So yeah, we'll take that. We'll lock that in. 16.5 -112. Thank you. You switched because I know for sure the guy who you were going to talk about before. I was definitely going to mess up his name. Maybe I got to talk to Jacob before we do the show just to get the names correct next time. But all right. Yeah, we'll lock that in. Best price again available at FanDuel, 16.5 towards the over -112. Let's get into our next player you got here. We're gonna head over to the Pelicans and Trailblazers game. We're gonna go for Derek Queen, and we're gonna look towards, you said, his over of 10.5 points.
Yeah. So -130. Kind of all entire market got there now. We had. It's steamed to the over. I'll switch back to the Props Madness now just to show some stuff. So far this season, looks up and down, kind of weird. But when you look at the games without Zion, he covered this in every single game. Minutes trend is up from 22-18 to now consistently playing 25 or more minutes. Then last 3 games, no Poole as well. So no Zion, no Poole, like 2 biggest guys, 2 out of 3 best guys when it comes to the team's usage. and you can see that usage went up as well from 23-25% to the last two games 32 and 26%. He's a rookie, so he's kind of settling in, but covered in not so easy matchups, like he covered against Spurs and against the Celtics. Also, this could be a blowout. He's getting some blowout minutes, so we should be sure there. So he should be locked in for 24 to 28 minutes tonight. And then
I think we lost Pips there for a second. We'll get him back.
Look at his scoring.
Oh, all right. We'll try and get
just some connection issues on his end.
We'll try and get
He'll be
Pips back here
hopefully in a sec.
In just a sec. That's all right. We're breaking it down, Derek Queen. Let's see if we can get him back here in a section. But yeah, the over.
Who was the name that you weren't able to pronounce?
Risasher?
Oh, Rizache.
Risache.
French.
Yeah.
That was
okay.
It's not too bad. There's some really tough ones out there. The rookie class has some tough ones this season.
I'm okay with the rookies because I watch March Madness, so I'm like I can familiarize myself with them. I got bamboozled by the March Madness commentators though for calling him Knipple. It's Knipple, but I was calling him Knuppel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called him Knupple. I blame them. I like to blame.
We
other
may have him
people.
back here.
All right, let's see if we got Pips back here. Talking through Derek Queen over points -130 over at FanDuel, over 10.5 points. Excuse me, -130 at FanDuel. Pips, can you hear us?
Yeah, I don't know when it broke.
You're about halfway through.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have so much stuff open that it's like lagging. Never happened to me. So yeah, so kind of weird. But yeah, we went through the Zion out, pull out. He's getting good minutes. Looking at the stuff where he scores his points, free throw line, isolation, cut, transition. Portland bottom 5 in the league in all 5. They're getting kind of scored on from like guys like Ayton, Wendell Carter, Kessler, Nurkic. Like Nurkic scored 13 points against them. So yeah, Derek Queen, rookie, settling in, playing better by every game, getting usage going up. Minutes should go way more up, especially on this horrible Pelicans team that already season cooked. So they should play their rookie that they spent so many resources to get on. So yeah, I think Derek Queen should be the bet here.
All right, we're taking Derek Queen again over at -130 over at FanDuel. 10.5 points is what we're looking at out there. Let's flip over and talk SGP stuff. You have you sent to me in all caps, big SGP here. In the, I believe it's the Heat and Cavs game. Let me double check here. Yeah, Heat and Cavs game. We're going back to the well on Kel Ware. Talk us through this one.
Bunch of stuff. So you guys can use your token, SGP token. We're betting Sam Merrill, 4+ threes. Kel Ware, double, and Jaime Jaquez, 4+ assists. Should be +376. I don't know. Didn't check it for a couple of minutes, so maybe it moved, but should be around there.
I'm checking it right now. Just give me a sec. Just got to find Jaquez and his 4+ assists. There he is. Yeah, +367.
Yeah. So, hope you are not losing me again. Kel Ware just these two teams played like a couple of days ago. Kel Ware had a big game, unlike when we bet on him. Still didn't score 15 points, but scored 14. Game went to the overtime. Now no Evan Mobley inside, so Kel Ware should have a bit easier it there. And also he had big 20 rebounds in that game. So with a bit smaller size team, he should be in an even better spot to both score and rebound. Jaime Jaquez this season dishing the stuff out, 4+ assists in all by 2 games. Last 3 games without Bam Adebayo, he had 9, 7, and 7. Would say Portland not a great matchup, but Hornets and Cavs great matchups for assists. So that's the last part of Miami there, and then we are going to Some aerial threes. Dude is unbelievable this season. Scored 4+ threes in 6 out of 8 games. Now we don't have, we see the injury report. No Donovan Mitchell, no Darius Garland, no Tyson, and no Evan Mobley. So really big injury report. And yeah, there are some arguments. First off, I'll say last game 2 days ago he made 4 threes on 16 attempts. I would say there are some arguments like with those guys out, he will be much better covered. I agree, but the pace will be insane. Like Miami's playing by the highest pace in the league by far, and he's really enjoying that. And Point Lonzo, pass first guy, should able to get him some looks. Miami Heat allows the most threes in the entire league, running at the fastest, the highest pace. So I think Sam Merrill should be good for some threes here. So overall, getting a great price on that, and with use of token, I think we are in a good spot.
All right, I think we're in a good spot here. Again, plus 376 over at FanDuel. That's 367. Kel Ware double. Sam Merrill 4+ made threes, and then Jaime Jaquez 4+ assists. You can get that at FanDuel. Use your profit boost tokens on it. If you're not using your profit boost tokens, you better be, because you're just wasting them. If you're not using them, you're just wasting them. It's as simple as that. Pips, appreciate you joining the show. Any last thoughts here? Any last widespread opinions that you have? You still feel good about your Hawks are your favorite team, right? You still feel good about them?
It's Houston Rockets.
It's the Rockets. My
And
bad.
I definitely feel good about
got
them.
a soft spot for the Hawks.
Rich Shepard kind of, yeah, well, yeah, good one. Well said, I meant. Yeah, I'm looking. I think my Rockets are.
Reed Shepard might be
Well,
ass, man. I don't know. Is he getting better?
Very disagree on Rich Shepard one. When the season started, I said he's not good enough to play. But by the
he's getting
All-Star,
better?
I think
Okay.
he's getting better. So by the All-Star, he could be neutral on the court at least. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Think we will get there. Yeah.
All right. Hopefully Reed Shepard comes around for your Rockets. Pips, appreciate you joining the show. We will chat on Friday.
See you guys.
Awesome stuff there. Thanks again, Pips. Appreciate you. Chat loves it as well. Let Pips know you appreciate him in the chat, because he's usually in the chat there. 11 Phillip 33. You had to drop the question right as Pips was leaving. We had a full 20 minutes. You could have asked that question. Pips might be in the chat later though.
It'll probably come through in the chat.
Yeah, Pips will probably come through on the chat a little bit later. If not, we'll ask our next guest about him, because he is supposedly very good bettor. He said he's better than one of the best NBA bettors of all time in Haralabob. You can hear him in the background here. Anyways, he's a seasoned NBA bettor, one of the best of all time apparently. You've seen him on Circle Back, allegedly 4'11". Kirk, how's it going?
You're 4'11".
I don't know. This is literally not true.
You're no taller than 5'1".
No, again, not true. But if you want to spread lies, that's okay. That's okay. I'm usually the one spreading lies on this show. That's kind of the whole reason we bring you on, is so I can tell lies. I will say though, you're right about one thing. I was wrong about Travis Hunter. I owe you.
Spinach Feta Wrap.
Spinach Feta Wrap. I owe you a coffee. And I'm excited to bet offensive player and defensive player of the year next year.
I question if you've ever been right in your whole life about anything.
Why? I told you about
'Cause
SMU.
SMU. God, guy. Okay, fine. SMU, but they haven't even made the playoffs. Like you're victory lapping like you hit a 10,000 to 1. I've heard you talk about SMU 40 times already.
Well, I was also right about. I sent you a 2,000 to 1 parlay that I hit, so I was right about that.
You didn't hit that.
Yes, I did. I round robin. One of them was 2,000. One of the round robins was 2,000.
Oh, I see. Well, that's not really how parlays work, but
no, but I still got paid.
The round robin went 12 of 14.
Correct.
Yes, you didn't hit a two. Like, I guess if you want to say it like that.
Yes, I did.
But like, if I round robin,
yes,
30 plays.
Yes,
and they go 18 and 30.
Yeah, if you round robin it down
one of the 18 combinations is like 10,000 to 1, but like an 18 of 30 round robin probably is like very small profit. So claiming that, and then I'd be like, I hit a 20,000 to 1 parlay, but like it was just one combo. That's not, you went 12 of 14 on a round robin, which is very good. Very good. But claiming, like I'm literally gonna make a 60 leg round robin right now on FanDuel. It'll go 30 and 60, and I'll hit a 20,000 to 1 parlay.
Okay, I want to see you do that. Pips in the chat saying he appreciates us, so Pips can maybe answer that question for 11 Philip 33 in the chat. I'm kind of getting us sidetracked here. We got business to attend to.
You always get us sidetracked.
I love getting us sidetracked, and I'm actually going to throw you a little curveball here because I love talking about futures markets because there's always an edge to be had, I believe, in futures markets. We're only 2 weeks into the NBA Cup here. We've only had 2 NBA games, but when do you start kind of paying attention to those markets? Is it now, or are you going to wait till maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Because correct me if I'm wrong, this kind of finishes up at the end of November, so there's only 3 more games left for each team in the round robin stage. When do you start looking at that stuff?
Oh, I've been looking, no doubt. It's already essentially halfway done of the round robin, or maybe 40%.
Yeah.
I have some stuff here. It's honestly a hard market to price because like to sim it out is you really have to like dedicate a lot of time to it to get it right. So we do have a sim, but it probably needs a bit of iteration. But no, it is a very interesting market that I've been paying a lot of attention to for sure.
All right, just because I was looking at, as I always do, trying to look through as many markets as I can in the morning. Toronto Raptors seems like they're going to win the East Group A.
Their last 2 group games are really easy.
Oh, okay. They're
why.
minus 1,000 right now.
Theoretically, yeah. They have the Wizards and Pacers.
They're 2-0 against the 2 best teams in the group.
Yeah, and then they have the Wizards and Pacers, who are awful. One of the 2 of the worst teams in the league.
Awesome.
And they pretty much need to just go 1-1 in those games because Cleveland and Atlanta already have a loss, and the Raptors have beaten both of them.
And they play each other, correct?
Cleveland and Atlanta, yes. Everyone in the group plays each other, so
okay.
So yes,
they haven't played each other.
And the Raptors have pretty good point differential too.
Okay,
so
sweet.
they're pretty. They're close to a lock to advance beyond the group stages.
All right, awesome stuff. All right, I guess we'll get a little bit more information. I'm giving you homework for next week. I gave everyone homework on the show today. So homework for next week is to come with an NBA Cup look, play.
Well,
maybe a team
I have one.
Okay.
I have one.
Okay. Talk us through it.
It's a massive long shot.
That's fine.
To be fair, but I do think it's pretty interesting. Jalen Duren, NBA Cup MVP.
Okay.
200 to 1.
Okay.
I just don't think the market is corrected for how good Jalen Duren is. He's like a legitimate all-star player. He's second for most improved. Cade obviously is the favorite, but they're pretty much pricing Cade and Detroit as like equal likelihood. Like if Detroit wins, Cade will win MVP. And, maybe it's 80%, but Duren already has had insane, like his one NBA Cup game has already been like a 30 and 12. And the NBA Cup is much more random. There's only 6 games. If Cade misses a couple, and Detroit still sneaks it out, like I just don't think it's this clear as like Cade is the only one who could win if Detroit wins.
All right, 200 to 1. Like I came on here talking about 2000 to 1. You're like just trying to do whatever you can to one up me, but it's all right. I like that. We'll track that.
Yeah, well, your 2,000 to 1 would be like if I said just bet everyone down from 100 to 1, and if I win, I'll just say, oh, I won the 100 to 1 bet.
All right, sure. Jalen Duren, what was it? 200 to 1 to win NBA Cup MVP. All right, you wanted to talk about something a little different. Again, getting us sidetracked. 5-6 minutes into your segment, haven't even talked about what you wanted to talk about, but welcome to my show. Let's talk through the divisions. You want to talk about some division winners? Just kind of talk, or sorry, I lied. You want to talk about awards? You don't want to talk about awards?
We could just jump around.
I'll let you lead the conversation.
Pricing. Absolutely.
What are you most interested in? Like, you don't have to come on here and talk most improved. We know your opinion on Josh Giddey. So, like, we can get that one out the door. But anything else?
Well, yeah. So I think let's start naturally at like NBA championship odds. We're 2 weeks into the season. I think my general take coming into the season, one hasn't changed at all, and one has changed a bit. Would be Thunder. I'm still pounding the Thunder. Even plus 185 at FanDuel, I think is good. I don't really think anyone is close to this team. They're by far the most injury resilient team in the league. They're just so deep. They're clearly better than last year because AJ Mitchell is like the favorite for sixth man of the year. The guy's another just additional really good player. They're taking the regular season slow, and I think they're 11-1. So yeah, that they even if it's plus 185, it seems like a gross number to be betting for a season long, but they are just so much more overwhelmingly good than any other team in the league. Like no one is really close to them. And like I said, if anyone other than Shea gets injured, they're still the favorite in any series in the league. And like, I don't think it's crazy to say that they could compete with pretty much any team in the league. Not being favorites, I think they'd be dogs to like the other good teams in the league. But if Shea was out, it wouldn't be like, if Jokic was out and Denver played pretty much any playoff team, they would be massive dogs. I think OKC in a 1-8 series, no Shea would still be a favorite. So this team is just ridiculously good, ridiculously deep. They've already banked so many wins with like zero, with J-Dub already out. Chet has missed a ton of time. They're just crushing teams at this point. So I still bet them to win the finals. And then the Cavs were the other team I came in the year with the championship bet. I still think they could do it, but the vibes are bad right now. Garland came back and they started looking really good, and I felt really good about them. But then he just left the game with a toe injury. They're just so hurt, and Garland feels like one of these guys who just maybe won't be able to regularly be healthy throughout his career. Like this is just one of the longest ranging toe injuries I've ever seen. So yeah, their team I'm backing off a little bit. And then the team that I've added some, not so much championship, but some East is the Pistons. I'm pretty all over the Pistons. I think this team is really, really good. Their regular season win total right now is like 50.5, maybe 51.5. They're just really, really good. The emergence of Duren, like I was talking about, is just so big for them. Their three best players are under 25. They have all their picks to make a trade. They're gonna be a regular season monster. Their defense has been amazing. They've already missed a bunch of games. Tobias Harris missed like the last 5 games. Stewart's missed like the last 3. Asar missed last game. He's out tonight. Tonight's going to be a bloodbath. Duren and Cade, I think, are pretty likely to miss. But this team's just going to be a regular season wins machine. I bet them to win the division as well. So, yeah, Detroit's really the team. Everyone in the East has been pretty disappointed. The Cavs have been disappointing. The Knicks have been kind of what's expected, but they are fine, but I haven't really moved off my opinion of them. Orlando is a mess. Atlanta is fine, but they've been missing Trey, and I don't think they're really like nothing really points me to super high end ceilings for them. So I just don't think Detroit should be priced as like the 5th most likely team out of the East. So I've taken some Detroit at like 11, 12 to 1 to win the East.
Okay, you're taking them to get out of the East here. You wouldn't take them though against like it seems like you love the Thunder to win the NBA Finals, so you wouldn't take them in at that Finals price of I think it's like 40 to 1. You would need a better number than that.
Yeah, I took a little bit. Yeah, but I 40 I'd probably pass.
Okay, yeah, just wanted to ask there. All right, let's flip around then. Let's look at some awards markets. Anything you like in terms of the awards? I think is MVP interesting to you because like it feels like Shy, like you mentioned, he's like the favorite, but he has like a ton of help around him. Not really sure how the voting works exactly with the MVP award, but I see a guy like Giannis and Wembanyama who are like very much more valuable to their team, I would say, just because of the talent drop off from them to the next player. Do you feel like Shai should be the odds-on favorite right now to win MVP only 2 weeks into the season? Is there anything you like in the MVP market?
So I'm not betting anything. I do have some Shea from earlier, and I have some Wemby from earlier. This is going to be the best MVP race probably of our lifetime. These 5 guys are just so absurdly good, and they're so clearly a step up from like the 6th best guy, be it Cade, be it Donovan Mitchell. Like those guys are incredible basketball players, but like Cade to Wemby right now, there's a complete gulf between them. But like you said, or like you were talking about, I actually do totally agree with you. If you're looking at it valuable or value, Victor, Giannis, Jokic, like if they were out, the spread would probably move, between 5 to 7 points. Shea would probably move it 3.5 to 4 points if the rest of OKC was totally healthy. Maybe a little more, maybe like 4.5. But I don't agree with you in terms of like your conclusion there. I think that the overwhelming like majority of MVPs are top seeds, and Shea is just going to walk into the West #1 seed and probably have the most wins. I have them at like 60-something% to have the most wins in the NBA. So I kind of think as these other guys battle it out, Shea's stats are just going to be ridiculous. They're already completely insane. It looks like he's doing pretty much exactly what he did last year. And I think that, 66 wins from the Thunder will kind of just differentiate Shea from the rest of these guys who will probably be between like 54 wins for like Denver, something around there. And then, the Lakers, Bucks, and Spurs are all like going to be probably under like 53 wins. So I think that Shea probably is even the value right now just because he's the least likely player to get injured other than maybe Jokic. They've already banked 11 wins, like we talked, 10 or 11 wins, and he just always plays. He never really gets hurt. He's by far the least likely to get hurt out of this. Luka's already missed some time. Wemby is 7'6" and skinny and already has missed a bunch of time in the NBA. Giannis is another guy who definitely can miss time. Such an aggressive, like, freak of nature athlete. That's a guy who can definitely miss time. So I think Shea's the rightful favorite, and if I had to make a bet, I would still bet on Shea.
Okay. I want to talk through a scenario if Wembanyama wins MVP. Do you think it hurts his shot at winning Defensive Player of the Year? Do you think those two are correlated? No, it doesn't really matter there.
If Wemby wins MVP, I would set his line at like minus 2,000 to win D-point, maybe more. Like the one, because realistically, the most likely path for Wemby to not win Defensive Player of the Year is if he gets hurt.
Yes.
So obviously, if he wins MVP, he's qualified for MVP, he's qualified for D-point. But also, like, Wemby to win MVP, he's just going to have to be so insanely good, like, to drag this Spurs roster to, like, 54 wins. And, Wemby's more valuable on defense than on offense. He's an unbelievable offensive player, but he's going to be the greatest defensive player, barring like the greatest defensive player in NBA history, barring injuries. So if he wins MVP, he will win Defensive Player of the Year.
Okay. I just thought maybe not that it would discredit him, but maybe they'd want to see like some diversity with the rewards, like we've seen in other sports. But it seems like no, that's not the case with the NBA.
Yeah, I think that just kind of depends on like the actual type of award.
Yes,
it is. But for this, I think he would. Well, I think if he qualifies, he's likely going to walk into Depoy. He's minus 290. Seems about right. He's played every game. Like, he's the best defender in the world by far.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy that Chet is the best defensive player on what looks to be the best defensive team of all time. And he's like not really going to compete for Defensive Player of the Year. But yeah, Chet, like this award honestly is mostly looking like Chet could not qualify. Wemby could not qualify. Who's like the crazy dark horse if both those guys don't qualify? But like that's not really you need Wemby to start missing some games to really start pulling the trigger on a bet like that.
All right. I want to flip over and talk through the Rookie of the Year race, which seems a little bit tight. Cooper Flag is the favorite right now, -125. Seems to be struggling out the gate here. VJ Edgecombe looks really good. Knipple looks good. Seems like a 3-horse race here. Do you like Edgecombe or Knipple to like kind of edge out Flag for the award because of how bad the Mavs look?
Yeah, so I would actually say it's more of a 4-horse race.
Okay.
I think Cedric Howard is really good.
Okay.
I haven't bet on him. I have bet Con Knipple. VJ his stats have started to fall off. He now has more competition with McCain back, who's been horrible, to be fair. But you think PG's going to come back as well at some point. MB did have knee soreness. Mm-hmm. So, he honestly could be out a while. But Edgecombe's stats have kind of come back to earth. And Con is just like really, really good. He is going to probably lose some of that usage when LaMelo and Brandon Miller comes back. But like the LaMelo injury is very mysterious. Mm-hmm. So who knows? But also when LaMelo's back, they play so fast that and LaMelo's such a good distributor. I actually don't think it'll crush his usage. Miller will be the bigger problem, but he's still out a while. And Cedric Howard's just been incredible. And, Memphis kind of looks like they might be on the road to blowing it up a little bit here. So I think it's the race is actually much tighter. Flag's being kind of bad. And I don't really see, other than, natural improvement, I think he is going to be an amazing player, but I don't see why he's like so obvious. He's just going to continuously put up way better stats and should be -125. VJ stats have kind of fallen off. Con stats right now are like nearly as good as VJ's, and Cowher's also been amazing. So I think this is much tighter. Con has, I was betting him more at like 9-1, 10-1. So I don't know if I'd bet him at +480, but it's close. He's probably the bet I would make in this market, him or Cowher.
Okay, Cowher 14-1. Excuse me, Knipple +480. Last,
can I just ask something on Rookie of the Year?
it.
How much do you think record factors into this? Because I remember the Scotty Barnes Rookie of the Year. It really felt like the Raptors making the playoffs and the Cavs not making the playoffs got him over the line on the award in like a close debate.
Yeah, I think it really depends on kind of like what the race looks like. Like if it's insanely close, it can kind of get you over the edge, especially if you're like really one of the leaders of your team. Like honestly, any of these guys are, but VJ's the only one who seems like maybe would sniff the playoffs.
That's what I'm thinking.
VJ's like he's now shooting 44% from 2, 47.5 effective field goal, 15 points a game. Like his stats are actually kind of obviously worse than Con's. I think that he's kind of riding that early start. Knipple's averaging more points on like 58% effective field goal. He's just being way better. So yeah, honestly, the more I'm looking at these stats, I didn't realize how bad VJ played last night as well. They're also just going to go more to Grimes with if VJ's kind of not ready to be as good as they thought. His minutes are going to come down. So yeah, I think Con really is the look in this market.
Okay, Con is looking the market. I kind of have to let you go here, but I'll give you one last opportunity to talk about any other futures market you want to talk about. Give us a quick rundown if there's anything you like, or if you feel like you've talked through everything, we can just let you go.
Yeah. The last one would just be Bickerstaff Coach of the Year. I'm just so high on this Pistons team. I think they're like the most likely team to be the kind of the surprise team. I know they won a lot of games last year, but Donovan and Mitch Johnson are the favorites here. I think both those teams are going to fall back to earth, especially the Bulls. So, yeah, I think Bickerstaff Coach of the Year is what I would look at.
All right, +900. Kirk, appreciate you. Appreciate you joining the show. We will chat next week, and you'll be able to see Kirk next Monday live on Circle Back. Kirk, hope you're enjoying the new place. We'll talk soon.
Talk soon.
All right, awesome stuff there from Kirk. People in the chat asking for some DGen stuff. I mean, I feel like a 200-1 NBA Cup MVP, Jalen Duren. It's pretty DGen.
That was a really interesting one.
Yeah,
I like that one.
So would I assume I probably should have asked Kirk this while he was on here, but I'll ask you about this. Previous games in the NBA Cup, like the round robin games, they count towards the MVP. Like that is something inconsiderate for the MVP.
Yeah, obviously not as much. Like he'll have to have like
he'll still have to have a good.
He'll have to have a good. Like he'll have to outperform Cade in the finals.
Of course.
As well, I think if Cade has a really good finals, outperforms Duran, then Cade would get it.
Okay. It still matters in the finals, but it just is almost like an extra little bit of juice there.
Yeah,
for him,
it's helpful for sure.
Helps,
and like if you can look at like his stats across the NBA Cup, and if they're significantly better than Cade, then that'll matter.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. All right. That wraps up today's show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Do us a huge favor. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. Before we head out, just want to quickly remind you guys that if you're not aware, we have a newsletter coming out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Kirk, who was just on, puts out his newsletter Friday, Kirk's Hammer. Talks through stuff that he's observed as a pro bettor thing, or not pro bettor. He's definitely not a pro. He's observed that makes him a better bettor. Stuff in the industry, things that have helped him improve. Just talks about markets in general, talks through things that could help you improve. So you're going to want to check that out. It's every Friday. But also, Monday, coming off of a busy Sunday, George helps us put together all the injuries that he marked down from that Sunday slate of football. So it's very hard to keep track of, but George has it nice and clean, packaged to you, right, delivered to your mailbox Monday morning. So you can kind of get ahead of the market in terms of these injury reports. Wednesday as well, we're doing you guys another huge favor. Injuries. It's hard to keep track of these NFL injuries. You don't want to have to sift through every single game to look at their injury report. Why would you do that? That's so many tabs. That's so many teams. So many things to look at. When you could have it, again, delivered to your mailbox, curated perfectly for you in an article. So, yeah, we have the first look at the Wednesday practice reports for every single team in the newsletter. On top of that, we got some plus EV props we're giving out. Alex talks about some of his NHL thoughts. Suma has some of his biggest takeaways from the week from the NFL. A lot to talk about in this article. A lot of value in the article, and you can get it delivered right to your mailbox. Just head over to thehammer.bet, and you can never miss a newsletter. So, yeah, you guys make sure you do that. Make sure you also like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And do us a huge favor. Tell a friend.
Let's also promo Circles Off video that just came out.
Yep.
I did the video today, and I talked about my journey from being a recreational losing bettor to a now winning bettor.
Okay.
And the steps that I took along the way. That video is up right now on the Circles Off channel. And I put the link in the chat just now. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Support us over there as well. Support me. Let me do more content here.
Yeah, let Jacob do more content. I agree. I'm pro Jacob. Team Jacob.
Thank you.
Fuck Team Edward. That is actually a multi-layered joke that if you were not watching the watch-along, you do not get. But, yeah, maybe we need a Team Jacob body pillow. Again, multi-layered joke.
Now it's time to end the show.
Okay. But that was like, this is like inside baseball. If you're watching our stuff, then you would know about it. Anyways, head over to the Circles Off YouTube channel. Check out that video. Tomorrow as well, we have us. You can watch us live, noon Eastern time, as we always are, Monday to Friday. Best Bet Show Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Forward Progress YouTube channel. And then gross game, Jets versus Patriots. Live watch along. Myself and George will be in. Alex definitely will not be there. So, yeah, that's what's up next to the Hammer. Let's see who we got on tomorrow's show. Oh, we got a good one. One of you guys in the chat tweeted at me this past week. He said, hey, Clive talks a lot about team totals on the Sunday reset. Can we get Clive on for Hammer Daily segment to talk about some team totals for the NFL? Your wish is my command. Is that how the saying goes? We got Clive on, batting leadoff on the Thursday show. He's going to talk through team totals. I'm sorry, I forget whose name this was, tweeted at me. But if you guys ever want to see something, don't be afraid to drop in the chat, tweet it at us. We're always listening. We always want to iterate. We always want to make this show as good as we possibly can for you. So, yeah, Clive is going to be batting leadoff for us, talking through team totals. Then Hitman's going to come on, give out some props, talk through the Thursday night football game. And then finally, we close out the show, a loaded football show. We talked NFL, but we're not going to talk about college football. We're going to talk about some CFL. We got the Grey Cup. Davis Sanchez will be coming on, talk through the Grey Cup with us. Alouettes versus Rough Riders in the very, very cold city of Winnipeg with that brand new, beautiful stadium. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a lot of fun. Then finally,
that's be cold.
It's cold as fook. Cold as fook. Finally, we close out the show with Edric Overtime. As you guys know, Alex So Money. Alex will be there this time. Definitely not in office, but will be there. And yeah, Edric Overtime. Talk through the NHL games. I didn't check. Did you check how we did in the money line round robin? Like, pardon?
Sadly, no.
You didn't? Okay. I wonder if I
check
should.
for tomorrow.
I'll check for it tomorrow. I'll check for it right as we finish the show. Anyways, appreciate you guys tuning in. Smash the like button before you head out the door. Appreciate you guys talking. I think is it Brian is that Bryce in the chat who asked for it? Anyways, whoever asked for Clive, we got you guys. All right, that wraps up today's show. This has been the Wednesday, November 12th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.